Night Reign is that new hotness. The team at Fromsoft have forgotten the Forbidden Lands and are now asking us to imagine multiplayer gaming in Fortnite. But is it fun? Or is it an abomination? A desecration of the fandom, pillaging you for your hard-earned dollars and tanking the reputation of this great studio, leading to their next project, Duskbloods, crashing and burning, leading to Fromsoft closing its doors and getting gobbled up in an acquisition or merger so that Miyazaki has to make Assassin's Creed tower climbing simulator, copy-paste, boring games forever? No, what? Are you okay? I think it's fun. To watch us play some Night Reign, check us out on Twitch. I finally have an actual profile picture. It used to be Lickitung. Join the Patreon to support the channel. It's the best place to do it. And check out Tulok the Cardbarian if you like Magic the Gathering. It's where we're building commander decks with commanders you hardly know. Now, let's start with the negative because that's kind of what plays on YouTube. Look, I haven't been shy about my burnout with Elden Ring. I've simply played it too much, and going into Night Reign, I was anxious I would hate this game too. To be totally frank, Elden Ring has made me hate this game, but not for the reason you might think. Have you ever driven a rental car? It's basically your car. Almost every car works almost exactly the same, except sometimes cars get new things. I was driving through the mountains of rural North Carolina in a rental car to go to a friend's wedding. This rental car had a lane assist feature that takes over the steering wheel when the car drifts to stop you from going into the other lane. Probably a good thing, right? Wrong. Look, just as you're driving, you do a little wiggle around the lane a little bit, especially in twisty mountain roads. Feeling the control of the vehicle literally slip through your fingers and the car move in a direction you didn't want it to is terrifying, especially because you're on the twisty mountain roads and one wrong move would send you rolling to the bottom. Death never scares me with car accidents. It never has. I have always thought at the moment of panic drifting into my mind, oh God, I hope I die, because this is going to be so expensive if I don't.
What the is this world? What have they done to us?
So, Phil, what are you talking about? Well, a slight change in control when you're in an intense situation is very stressful, and for whatever reason, every time Fromsoft makes a game, they move the goddamn two-hand weapon button. In Dark Souls 3, you hit triangle. It's nice and simple. For Bloodborne, triangle is healing. If you want to two-hand the weapon, you hit L1. In Elden Ring, there are simply too many buttons. Triangle is now how you interact with stuff, which was X in Bloodborne, but X is jump now, so triangle is interact, but it's also how you open up your pouch. And then, with the pouch open, you press R2 or L2 to choose which handed weapon you want to two-hand. Night Reign takes the pouch away. All of the items are just in the menu that you open up directly. But we need to fit in character specials because each character has two specials, one that recharges quickly and one big ult attack. They are bound to triangle and R2 and triangle and L2. Now, swapping weapons is triangle and R1 and triangle and L1, which kind of makes sense since that was an unused combination of buttons. But quick question, why didn't we just put the new mechanic on the new combination of buttons?
What is wrong with you? Why would you do this?
In my first hours playing the game, I think I misclicked and wasted an ult 3 or 4 times, which is really rough with how hard the bosses are in this game. Each of them is scaled up to be ready to fight 3 people at the same time. Like, I don't think it's crazy to think that this game started off as a copy of Elden Ring that Ishizaki just started adding some spice to. So why'd you change it, Ishizaki? Just to mess with me as a prank for me? That's the only thing in this game I hate. It rips, and so does today's sponsor, Factor. That's right, gamers, this video is sponsored by Factor. Factor is the meal delivery service that sends you meals that are ready to eat in 2 minutes. You just pop them in the microwave and you're good to go. I love Night Reign. I know we started off with the negative stuff, but I'm gonna throw another negative in there. It's hard to find time to eat in between rounds of Night Reign. If you're trying to order food on an app, what happens when the delivery driver shows up and you're halfway through fighting a fire Cerberus? With Factor, you don't have to worry about that. Whenever you're done with your run, you just go. 2 minutes later, you got food. You can eat the food in 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how fast you eat. I'm a fast eater. It's like 10 minutes for me. And then get back to gaming. Factor is the perfect meal for you to eat while doing your Night Reign runs. It also saves you money from the delivery takeout trap. If you're ordering during peak delivery hours, they're going to be slapping fees on you left and right. Oh, the driver fee, that's separate from the driver tip, that's separate from the other tip. There's like 5 different tips on there, and you gotta say you got a tip because otherwise these people aren't making any money. But that whole experience is just miserable. Just order from Factor, save money, get tastier, fresher food. Since the meals are delivered fresh and never frozen, they're still packed with flavor, and you don't get any of that soggy takeout business, you know, where it's all been steaming inside the bag and it's all nasty. I'm really going after delivery in this one, but it's true, Factor is so much better than delivery. No matter what your dietary options or requirements are, Factor's got you covered. They got keto, they got calorie smart, they got vegan and vegetarian options. Whatever you need, Factor is gonna send you food that you'll love to eat. So folks, stop imagining delivery while you're playing Night Reign and start imagining Factor in Fortnite. That's why you can click the link in the description or go to factor75.com and enter offer code 50height at checkout for 50% off your first Factor box and free shipping. Again, that is offer code 50height at checkout for 50% off your first Factor box and free shipping. Get started with some delicious food, the perfect food to eat with your Night Reign gaming. Now, let's get back to some Night Reign gaming.
Working on a night move.
Okay, first of all, Night Moves. One of the greatest pieces of American music, but I'd never seen the music video because I'm not 100 years old, I'm 90 years old. About 2 minutes in, Matt LeBlanc shows up, like, hey Joey, how you doing? God, I really am 90 years old. If you think someone making a Friends reference makes them old though, congrats, you have 10 years before The Office makes you old, so get ready for that, you infant. So they took the horse out, not like out back. I don't think that Torrent broke his leg and can't race anymore, but I think having the assets for 3 horses in a smaller open world must have somehow been too much of a strain on the servers or something. I don't know why they cut the horse. No big deal. All of the Nightfarers are fast as hell.
Oh, I can just run.
I mean, they're not as fast as a horse, and that has its ups and downs. The ups, running away from the closing night storm, is so fun. Some of the most fun I had was frantically trying to get to the center as everything comes to swallow you. Now, this is just pretty standard Fortnite, happens every Fortnite game, but I never get to play that. I'd guess a lot of the Elden Ring gamers don't know the epic highs and lows of dashing out of Tomato Town. But alas, you are still not as fast as a horse. And there's some bosses in the game that have been taken from the open world section of Elden Ring and are kind of designed to be fought with a horse. Not on horseback the whole time, oh god. No. If I did a video like this for Elden Ring, horse health would be on the list of things I hate. That thing is made of glass, tissue paper, and the male ego. But it is useful to get your ass out of dodge when a dragon is blasting fire breath, or a death bird is death birding. It causes a lot of death, that's in the name. The sprinting isn't quite as fast, and it makes some attacks a little harder to avoid. Raising your allies is another kind of hit or miss thing. It's great that you can technically bring back your allies as many times as you want, but certain classes are just better at it than others, and some suck. It's really fun to beat the hell out of your allies to heal them, but the Recluse just kinda can't aim at a downed ally half the time. I think the lock-on range is just different from attacking enemies, or maybe it's a quirk where because they're lower to the ground, the lock-on doesn't line up the best. I don't know. Something about it just feels a little off. Platforming's kind of the same way. Some jumps feel almost doable. Getting really close to making it up a hill and not quite making it can be kind of frustrating, especially when the storm is approaching. Just boost the jump height by like 3%, I think, and you'd nail it. I've seen some people complain about the matchmaking, and I guess I only did 2 public matches, but they connected fast and the people were solid. I can imagine it would be pretty rough with randos, or that it could be, but personally, I think this is just how matchmaking works in online games. Maybe you don't play a lot of online games, but I used to be really into Overwatch, and I play Marvel Rivals when I can. 70% of the time, the guy who's hard stuck in bronze, who's crying, oh, the matchmaking is terrible, oh, I keep getting scrubs who throw the game. The call's coming from inside the house. You're the scrub, and if you're matched with other scrubs, it's because you're a scrub and they put the scrubs together. I understand that you can't do this all on your own. Hey, you're no Superman, but chances are you're the scrub. Also, if this is a factor in the reviews that came out before the game was out, no one was online. What do you mean? If you're struggling to find people to play with, might I recommend joining the Patreon and hopping on my Discord, where we have a beautiful channel to find people to raid with. It's color-coded depending on your console. Oh, wait, yeah, you need a specific console because there isn't crossplay. That sucks. Get on that, Fromsoft. That sucks. Also, there's no voice chat. That can be good. I turn voice chat off on literally every game I play online, having someone shout racial slurs over and over again doesn't help me feel like Spider-Man. He's from New York, so probably hears them pretty often, but having them as an option would be nice. Voice chat, not racial slurs. Oh my god. And then I can turn off the voice chat immediately. This is just something that people have to figure out and make work at home, and that's not great. This one's not a huge deal, but like, why don't we get to choose where we drop? It never dropped me anywhere terrible, but when I'm dropping off the battle bus with Reggie,
I can't wait to drop off the battle bus and meet some of you on the battlefield in Fortnite.
it could let you play some riskier strategies where everyone splits up to gather more runes. Even though you don't have a squad around you to lift you up, it'd be a risky strategy, but it'd be neat if that was sort of an option. I mean, I guess you can do it, but you'd just all be forking out of the same place instead of going somewhere right away. Randomizing weapons and seals in the field is rad. I love finding pieces of gear to make the build as you move through it. I don't like the crystals, though. Personally, I've never liked crystals. Crystals in general, bad news, thinking back on it. I don't think I've ever enjoyed a crystal or a mechanic attached to it in a video game I've ever played. Crystals in real life, also bad. You know that J.O. crystal thing? The guy who wanted to J.O. with a bro to make his crystal glow? That wasn't real. It was all fake. When I got there, there was nobody... it was debunked. Finally, some of the bad Elden Ring has carried over. Chasing down overworld bosses with a time crunch is fantastic. More on that later. But some of those bosses kinda suck, especially the ones that jump around a lot. The little hills and rocks put bosses in places that you can't really punish them, which was already an issue in the base game, but that gets even worse here since the maps are procedurally generated. I'd go so far as to say, if you see a dragon in the overworld, skip it. It's bait. It's just gonna waste your goddamn time, and you'd be better off finding a camp with like 10 normal dudes. It's probably like 20 feet away. Before Elden Ring, every Fromsoft game had a boss in an empty church, or a courtyard of an empty church. Maybe it could start feeling a little samey, but it's kind of like Final Destination in Super Smash Bros. Once you play a lot of Smash Bros, you really just want that. The first time you fight on Captain Falcon's Fuck You Freeway, it's neat to run around and jump off the speeding cars. But if you were really trying to get something done and figure out which of your friends is best at Smash Brothers, you want a piece of flat ground without a bunch of silly shit going on. Sometimes Night Reign will give you a Final Destination map, and sometimes it'll give you Captain Falcon's Fuck You Freeway. Cutting out the big flying monsters like the gargoyles and dragons would also help. It would be a lot easier to deal with Erdtree avatars, stone trolls, Black Knife assassins, and Crucible Knights. You know it's bad when I'm asking for Crucible Knights. At least when I bonk off the shield, that makes sense, unlike whiffing the dragon's toes because it landed on a rock that I guess made it indestructible. But that's kind of it for the mid stuff, and you know what? There's a lot I love about this game, so let's get to that. Alright, now keep in mind, everyone, this is my subjective take on the game, but subjectively, this is pretty perfect for me. My biggest issue and biggest source of burnout with Elden Ring is all the time in between, in the lands between. There's no urgency. The whole world is falling apart because America is bad and not in like a pressing way. Take your time, level up, get a massage from fear, literally beat a giant dragon to death that can't move because it's got 1 billion health, whatever. But when the Duchess says the world is ending, she means this shit is ending in an hour. Get off your ass. The storm is closing in. It's time to move. But also you need to grind to get your experience. But also you need to get some good weapons. But also you need to find some flask upgrades. Basically, you need to be doing something at all times. And there is not enough time to do everything. And that might sound like I'm complaining, but no, that is great. There's no risk in Elden Ring. Oh, you might die and lose your runes or even a rune arc. But there's no incentive to risk those things. In Night Reign, if you can fight one more field boss, it might give you the extra boost you need to fight the final boss, whether that be because of the runes the boss gives you, or a critical ability you get, or a resistance. It even recontextualizes bosses to make them a race against time. One of the only bosses I still enjoy in base Elden Ring is the Godskin duo because it's a fun race. You have your Godskin, Bernie has his, who's gonna finish first? There's no stakes there though. Literally, the most fun boss fight I've had in Night Reign so far was a magma worm, but with the storm. Run to the boss. Don't run to the tree. We can beat another boss. We can beat another boss. If we believe. It's a magma worm. Come on, we got this shit. You know what? I'm not afraid of death. I'm not afraid of death. You know what I'm afraid of? Not having lived. Oh, never mind. Never mind, I goofed. Oh, fuck. Just leave me. Just leave me. This was my fault. Holy shit, let's go. Like, come on, that was a good time. You don't take time to think about your stats, you just level up when you hit a grace. Don't worry about what talismans are right, just grab a weapon and something that has something good on it and move on. Y'all, when I say I played the Revenant and used the flail for the first time in 3 years of Elden Ring, I mean that. Look at this child and her murder stick. Obviously, each class has their own unique weapons and is better at using some stuff, but sometimes flails give you better incantations, then you forget to use incantations because you liked using the flail. The multiplayer is also scaled really well. I think each boss gets new attacks, like Morgoth's Bloodfire does this crazy spiral shit. He throws more daggers in his dagger tossing combo. The Tree Sentinel's little buddies die, but he can summon ghosts to temporarily take their place. It's pretty cool. It's also improved by letting you gang up on the baddies. When you stance break or critical hit, everyone can keep hitting the boss. It's great. It feels great. But even better, when you get grabbed, your allies can hit the boss and occasionally stance break them out of a grab. Oh fuck. Don't be a one shot. That's not. You fucking saved my ass. Holy shit. Holy shit. You can hit people. You can hit them out of the grabs. Yo. Yeah, that felt pretty good. They took fall damage out. Do I have to talk about that from a game design perspective, or can we just all agree that fall damage fucking sucks in Elden Ring? And this is so much more fun. It's fun to jump off cliffs. It's cool. There still is a penalty for doing it though, because if the storm is coming and you're on the wrong side of a cliff, you gotta climb that cliff with the storm. So it's still not like totally unpunished if you just jump off a cliff. Like there's a reason not to jump off of cliffs, but now that reason isn't, oh, you misjudged the fall distance, fuck you. They took weight out. They took character weight out. You don't have weight restrictions. So you don't have to worry about leveling endurance just so that you can have a medium roll. Everyone has medium rolls, except some characters have better rolls than medium rolls. So that's fucking great. There's so many unique abilities that combo with other class abilities with 8 characters and 3 players and the ability to stack characters on top of each other. You have 4 billion combinations. I think it's actually around 500, but that's 500 different ways to start the game after playing all 8. I like them all, which is the next part. But hey, if I'm talking about 8 unique characters that play in a way that's fun and I like all of them, that's pretty positive. But we will start with my least favorite.
That is a body that just won't quit. And I bet if you pop those pants off, you're gonna find a bird that just won't quit either.
I don't dislike any character, but the bird is close, mostly because of how I'm used to playing Elden Ring. When you bring the hawk to a fight, it's gonna tank. You should be trying to draw aggro and bring your hawk to a melee distance right away, occasionally responding with a poke or two. But you might have noticed my Elden Ring runs don't have me using shields a lot. Even when the character I'm playing should have a shield, I don't really use it. Nobody's coming to do the damage. I'm the one who's got to hit stuff, so I can't just play turtle with a shield. Night Reign, you can play turtle with a shield, or I guess you can bring a hawk to a shield. You can hold your shield up, do your job as a tank, while some ranged DPS stay safely 1,000 feet away. Hell, it makes ranged DPS more viable than in regular Elden Ring. In base game, ranged DPS kinda doesn't work. I know people pretend it does, but unless you're casting one of 3 good spells, Horolu's gonna be halfway through your digestive system before your spell resolves. He's a mono blue player. It's just that his counterspell is Fist. That's all irrelevant. We have a tank now, and the tank is a Hawkman. Bring a hawk to a fight and make him a tank. Hell yeah. Your tornado can stun big enemies and blow the smaller ones, Hawk Tua. Then the ultimate is a big AoE blast. It's great at bringing your allies back up. It does good stance damage. All of the Guardian's special abilities are a whole bunch of alright. But the starting halberd, charged forth, the ramming dashing attack, the spinning charged heavy.
What is this, Reggie?
For all the melee fighters, I think it's best to just grab another weapon anyway, but god, this starting halberd is garbage. Anyway, hey, let's talk about another melee character.
He's appointing himself judge, jury, and executioner. He's not judge, jury, and executioner.
Okay, so this one's probably on me for not getting good at Sekiro, but I don't really like Perry the Platypus over here. Nothing wrong with it, but if we're being totally honest, my game queued up before I could test this guy's moveset, and I didn't really understand what the sword did. Oh wow, that's not a very professional way to review a game. I'm not a professional game critic. I'm a certified yapper who talks about games sometimes. Other than that, he's a pretty bulky boy, not like Chungus we'll talk about later, but he can take a hit or two, keep trucking. Really what I love is the ultimate ability that makes you go from the wolf figurative to the wolf werewolf. The wolves in Night Reign, of course. No, but you do get a ton of extra health and just start smacking everyone around. It's super fun and something they don't have in Elden Ring. Not only is it great for taking up space, it loads you up with a big red bar. The stance damage for each attack is massive, helping you break down a boss. But even better, it's huge splash damage, and large damage of the attacks make it great for bringing your allies back up. It's a very fun class, and I think I could definitely stand to enjoy it more when I realize how it's supposed to work. I don't want to play Sekiro though, so I don't think this one's for me. I still think it's neat because I like the ult a lot.
Now pick up a boulder with relative ease.
The Raider is dummy thick, and the clap of his ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards. Yeah, there wasn't too much to it. He's just big. Lots of strength, lots of armor, pretty cool. I like his weapon that's sort of an axe-hammer hybrid thing. It's everything I love in a weapon. It's a weapon. It sure is. His ability has him just pummeling forward and shrugging off hits, which is different than the rest of the time when he pummels forward and shrugs off hits. Honestly, the only reason he's so low is because I don't like his ultimate attack. You make a big rock, sometimes it traps the boss inside, which can be useful for picking up your buddies. It can also be a nice setup for ranged attacking characters, or if you have some healing magic, giving them a chance to safely get their heals off. But most of the time, it just puts a big fucking rock in the middle of the arena. And most of the time, I don't like that there's a big fucking rock in the middle of the arena, because it's a big fucking rock. And big fucking rocks get in the way. More often than not, it wouldn't hit me while I was down and res me. It did stop the ally raider from coming to get me off of the ground because it was a big fucking rock. So yeah, I don't like the big fucking rock, but I do like the big fucking guy. I just don't like his ult, and I think his ult kind of fucks fights up. Sorry I'm swearing so much on this one, I don't know why.
I'm just a regular, everyday, normal guy. Nothing special about me, mother.
Wilder is the character you play as in the tutorial. He's the guy in the trailer. He's the guy who is a guy. His job, guy. His weapon of choice, sword. Maybe a shield too. Every game needs a Soldier 76, a Punisher, a cheese pizza, an ASMR fart eating porn, vanilla situation, you know? All the basic options. Which isn't to say that the basic options don't have their merits or even great flavors. Sometimes basic stuff is great stuff. I like great swords. They're neat. Shields, you can put them on your back. I probably would like Van Wilder a little more if I liked the grappling hook better. It's neat, it's great on smaller enemies. The recharge is fast enough that you don't have to feel bad about using it, but against bigger enemies, it pulls you into them, which is super cool when it works. When it doesn't, you just kind of slide right past them, and then you're far away from them and you can't punish them, which is super frustrating. Especially because bosses usually have more reach than you do. The bigger ones, you know, because that's what the ones that you would slide past that you would be pulled to. So they can close the distance better than you can after you've spent your grapple to try and get close to them. That rocket punch though, I like that. I like that a lot. It's just a big dumb rocket punch, and it combos so well with the grapple. Little guy giving you trouble? That's a combo, baby. That's a combo. Big guy giving you trouble, you could pull yourself in and blast. Yeah, pretty hard to be mad at that, unless you slide past him. Good old John Generic, he's got a little sauce. He's also just kind of okay at everything that isn't spellcasting. And guess what? Your boy doesn't like spellcasting. So I like John Generic over here. I just hope that they patch it so that you stop sliding past dudes.
If I could turn back time.
The Duchess is fucking sexy, and I don't mean attractive or in an objectifying way. I mean, sure, bark, 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 awooga, but I mean the moveset, the double flipping rolls, starting it off with a dagger and magic blade on that thing to take advantage of the fast attack speed. That's sexy. When you unlock her, she does the Michael Mouse, they'll pay for this cape toss. Sorry, Corey, people don't know what I'm talking about. Can you cue that up?
They'll pay for this.
Does that mean that tangentially I am calling Michael Mouse sexy? No. Not all the time. But in that moment, that's a fuckable mouse. Yeah, I said it. Is Vadi Vidya's first Night Reign video gonna comment on the fuckability of Michael Mouse? No. That's why you come here. That and Michael Mouse, apparently. Only problem, I don't know how to be sexy. Being sexy requires you to be close, but not have a bunch of health to tank hits. You need to be quick and stylish, and I'm none of those things. I'm clumsy, stupid, and large. It's still really fun. It's really fun. The run I tried with the Duchess, I got a black flame blade, put it on the dagger, and used that stopwatch. That felt good. The stopwatch basically reapplies all of the damage that happens. So getting a stance break, then slicing up with some black flame dagger, and then stopwatching to do it all again? Mamma mia. That's great. Even though I'm pretty terrible with the build. They just give you so many options to keep your distance in this game, which we'll talk about with the next class, but I guess I should touch on the ult. I don't like this ult either. It makes you go invisible. That's fine, but it lasts like 2 seconds. I don't know. This didn't really do much for me in any of my playthroughs. God, playing the Iron Eye makes me feel so confused about why archery in past Souls-likes was so bad. They couldn't have figured this out earlier? Just put a little strafe speed on there, lets you move while you shoot a little bit without having to jump all the goddamn time. The damage is a little low, but it's not terrible, and you don't have to worry about consumables. Fantastic stuff. Absolutely perfect. That ability that lets you dash through an enemy and make them take more damage, inspired. It's an evasion ability, it's a damage ability. It gives you a reason to be active in the fight instead of just staying in the back and spamming. Then a big old arrow shot that does big damage and also has some stance pressure as the ultimate. Yeah, it's straightforward. Literally, it's an arrow. But it's just really fun to play. If you can manage to lock onto your allies while they're down, this is also great at healing since you don't have to be right next to them. There's just a lot of great buffs to ranged attacks you can get for weapons. I mean, it's a little bit of a specific niche. There's a lot more flexibility with melee weapons for useful buffs, but you can make up for it by not being in the middle of the fight. Just spam from a distance. Oh, and I guess you find more items. That's like the cherry on top. Great class, very fun. Would play again.
When the sun goes down and the moon comes up.
So the Revenant is cool because you have to unlock it in a boss fight. The boss fight is a gank, and Gideon Ofnir and his buzzsaws of bullshit at the same time. Disgusting. I found that using the Recluse and her glintstone art is pretty great. It hits the bosses while hitting the ads at the same time. It's called cleaving. If you've ever played an MMO, you would know. I know because all of my friends play MMOs and I avoid them with every fiber of my being. MMOs, not my friends. If I'm being totally honest, sometimes I feel like I'm annoying to be around. Like I afflict myself on other people. It has to do with like how I grew up and like my dad didn't really like being around me and kind of made that abundantly clear, but I tried really hard to make him like me. Oh shit, I'm talking about making a video here. They put a Spirit Ash class in the game. God, they love Spirit Ashes so much at Fromsoft. They can't stop putting support for him in, and it really is so core to the concept of Elden Ring. Die mad, haters. She's also supposed to be a spellcaster with a lot of faith, but the only spells she has are rejection and heal. You could grab another casting seal and have her start throwing lightning spears out if you find that. I found a flail, and you know what? I still think she's neat. Honestly, I don't think she would work super great as a caster because of the limited amount of FP you have. Save it for big group heals. Don't waste it on throwing fireballs that whiff all the time anyway. Get a flail. This is a flail class. No, it's a Spirit Ash class. You can summon a page of Pumpkinhead without the pumpkin. And wait, is that? When you or one of your ghost buddies lands the last blow on an enemy, you get them as a Spirit Ash, which means you can get a Spirit Ash of a giant pot. Finally. Good lord, what took so long? I love that this game fixes things that don't really work in the base game. Adding a giant pot summon, kind of. Adding the funny sand skeleton as a summon. They made archery fun. What's next? Making a playable spellcaster? The Recluse makes spellcasting fun. Holy shit. There are two big things about her that make this possible. I've got a lot of buffs here. That's not the camera angle I intended. No, not the not the tickled bitties. I'm talking about regenning your FP so you can actually keep casting magic. My biggest problem with casting is it uses a resource to do less than or maybe equal to damage of a melee fighter. Then you run out, you got a useless stick you can't use to do anything. You gotta get rid of your red flasks so you can have blue flasks so your healing is worse. But for the Recluse, you slurp up all your magic back and then you make it explode. Now sure, you can get big brain and wait for the right combination of elements to absorb and memorize every different category of every different combination of elements. Or you can just spam that shit as fast as you can and get back to spamming. That works pretty great. Then you get a big old ult attack that lets you heal your FP and HP and lets your allies do the same. Whenever you or they hit the enemies in the area, it's a huge area of effect. It's so damn good. Now, it doesn't matter if the spells are kind of trash. It doesn't make you invest your stats like an insane person because the game just makes your stats happen as you level up in the background. No longer do you need to balance out your casting modifier, your mind, and your dexterity for casting speed. All the spells just get cast at max speed anyway, thank Christ. Your mind, frankly, does not matter unless you get the loose stat staff, but hey, spoilers for the next video, the loose stat staff fucks no matter what, so it really doesn't matter. I came into Night Reign hating Elden Ring, and especially hating running spellcasters, and the game made me enjoy Elden Ring and spellcasters the most. That's what I call the real magic. Overall, I'm very excited for Night Reign and making videos about it. Hopefully y'all like it too, since I can think of, between 8 and 16 videos that I can make pretty easily. We'll have more out soon, but I gotta take my time and get through it. And I wanted to get my thoughts out as soon as possible. Join the Patreon to support the channel and hop in the Discord for some Night Reign with fellow Fortnite enjoyers. Follow us on Twitch to watch us play live and play along with me. I'm mostly playing with chat when I can. Currently on PC, but we might do some PS5 days too. I'm not doing any Xbox days. I don't have an Xbox. I don't want to buy one. Finally, check out Tulok the Cardbarian because that's where the Magic the Gathering videos are, and they're really good.